Right, we live. What's going on, Rhett? What's going on,
What's happening,
Facebook
everybody?
world?
It's Wednesday. Between the Pits.
Between the pits.
Let's start off real quick. I want to thank all of our sponsors. I actually have a list right
Oh,
here
you
today.
got your list with you today?
Yeah, man, my cheat sheet. Normally, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
We'll start out all about mud, Muddy Addiction, 2Gen Solutions, Hustler Racing, Hares Repair Service, Branham Construction and Roofing, CJ Motorsports, Dirt Dollar Fabrication, Powell Roofing, McCarn Heat and Air, Mixing Construction, Summers Water Treatment, and as always, our title sponsor, Johnny Martin Jr. Well Drilling. Thank you very much to all of our sponsors. We could not do it without you.
Yes, sir. Thank all y'all. Awesome. That's why we do what we do. Thanks for all y'all putting the series on. It helps out a lot for all the sponsorships and all that. We got it. So
without the sponsors and the drivers, you wouldn't have nothing.
That's it. That's a fact.
Y'all support me a whole lot.
I think they had a big race this past weekend we missed out on. I know I missed it. I think you missed it too.
Yeah, I missed it, unfortunately. I try to go to every one, especially Twitty's, because everybody knows that's probably about my favorite track.
And it looked like a good race, man. What's crack-a-lacking, Zach?
Zach cleaned up. Zach was my pick. I know he was watching last week.
He was. He picked out pretty good. He won the big tire, the third. Mega. 2 ton or what? Megas. I don't know they call it megas.
2.5 tons and up.
And then who won the 1 ton class? Did Tyler win that or somebody else won that one? I don't know.
I don't know who won that one.
What's up, Jared?
But I know our boy Jeffrey Hare got second in that class.
Yes, sir.
They've got that little Mustang motor tuned up right now.
Yeah, we got to guess him waiting on him. I'll let you wait. We're waiting on 2 more fellas here, if you can hear me. Just hold tight a second. We'll put you on here. But like I said, that was a good race this past weekend. I see our other pick team wrapped up.
Yep.
I see that Godfather Racing team had a slew of plaques, son.
Dude, I don't know how many trophies it was. At least they had girlfriends holding them. It looked like
I seen them, but they were stacked up. It looked pretty good.
They had about all of them, except for the other half the trophies, except for the one that I guess Thomas Mayfield won.
Yeah,
and Zach won was the Hares.
The Hares. It must be an H. You had to be a Heffelfinger or a Hare to get in there.
Tony did so good that Jeffrey's wife was posting memes about him because Tony got 2 firsts at Twitty's. That's hard to do.
The truck looked like he was running good. He said it looked good.
Yeah, Snowman and the tow truck apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, you see he won the sled pull Friday night with the tow truck.
Yep, they had 2 classes and he got it. What I want to know is what truck beat the King Crush at the sled pull?
Oh, I don't know. That was they wrapped up.
Because they got second. Yeah. Them Hares, they were on a roll. Godfather Racing was on a roll.
Yeah, I had somebody
trophies for somebody else,
I heard they run it a little different this time. I think he run the 39 and a half down first. And
did
yeah. And I think they run both pits first to start off with.
Okay.
And I think someone was having some issues getting out the pit because they was calling me like, boy, they bogging down before they come out the pit. I was like, oh, that's going to be a good day.
Yeah, sometimes it's a bog,
Yeah.
I've been to 20s before and gone 18 feet back in the day.
Yeah.
It used to be good night.
I see my kid, right? He got like 5th out of all the trucks. He was in the big tire class, I think.
Yeah, he had some good passes.
We had one lone series truck get a 3rd place. You see that?
That's right.
Rick got 3rd. I think he got 3rd, didn't he? 2nd or 3rd?
Yeah, Rick got 3rd, and Alexis got 2nd.
And Alexis, 2nd or 1st, one out of 2.
2nd. She's one of our young guns. So
yeah.
Was Ray there? I saw Ray Weeks, and I'm pretty sure that was probably
he must. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. He must have looked. He looked pretty good.
I feel horrible when I'm out of the loop, man. I like to be them big races.
Yeah, I mean, had a couple fellas call me. You coming, man? I was like, no, turning wrenches, Bo.
Yep.
Ain't gonna make it today. Ain't gonna make it. Did you catch any fish, man? What'd you do? Did you have a good time with the daggone? I see plenty of rides you were seeing.
The rod run was fun. Man, if you've never been to that rod run, they have it like twice a year in Pigeon Forge.
Yeah.
Go check it out. There's thousands of classic cars. You can just walk and look at cars for hours, man. It's awesome.
I was watching some of your videos you posted. It looked like some nasty ones.
Oh yeah, they're burning out and having a good time.
You didn't see no mud trucks though, did you?
No, but they're having something up there. What is it, Maggie Valley? What May 24th and 25th and next year at Maggie Valley, there's a 4-wheel drive show. They got classes for pretty much everything: Jeep, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Toyota. Tallest truck, lowest truck. That might be fun.
I might have to try it. I was hoping you could tell me they had a mud bog up there somewhere. That'd be.
No, I wish they did. That's what they ought to do. Let us come up there and put a dang mud race on for them.
They ought to have one around there somewhere. Rick said Alexa got me. She did great. Yeah, Alexa drive that thing now.
Alexis doesn't take any prisoners, y'all.
No. We got one guest in here waiting back in the waiting room. I got 2 more. I don't know what the world be here in a minute, but we got some big news coming for a big race we're going to talk about.
Yeah, man.
A big race coming local. I think it's next month, man.
Big stuff. A series that actually inspired me to kind of start this thing.
Yep.
The SMO, man, they were bad.
Those some big boys. They got some Matt and Dave and Robert supposed to get on here and give us a little info about it. But we got a race coming up next weekend, man, in Grover. They got some interesting stuff going on there too, man. They got that dog box race. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and everybody out there, BT right, it's got to have tags and insurance and a dog box or a
tag
CB.
And an antenna. I think it's got to have a CB antenna or something. That was a stipulation or rule on that. And then they got something else. They got a halftime show. A shootout. I think it's 4 trucks, 5 trucks.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing the Mushroom and Johnny Martin. And then you got Robbie, right?
Robert Reagan.
Robbie is set on kill. If y'all weren't at our last race, Robbie ran a 2.8. He was not happy with the 2.8. So
on motor.
Yeah, on motor. Small block on motor.
200
foot. He was not happy.
And the hot shot's going to race in it too. I believe Gavin told me there's going to be like a best out of 3. They all going to run 3 passes. The best out of 3. Zach, you can't put a dog box in the pro mod, brother.
Well, hey, that's kind of the point, hopefully, on the dog box class, because they're trying to get some of these young kids in there.
Yeah.
Not only to come to the mud bog, but see what the heck we're doing. And that's the way to get them in there. You dangle a few, $500-$600 in front of their face.
Yeah.
And they gonna run their daddy's truck, right, BT?
Oh yeah. I've pulled a bunch of them out before. And it's a Saturday night too. And there's a bunch of hunting clubs and stuff going on around there. So we'll get that, and that's gonna be interesting. Hopefully I have mine back together. I'm trying.
Yep.
I'm trying. I'm waiting on one fella to make me a drive shaft, and we'll get that back together and she'll be ready.
One fella. Must be some of that dirt dauber. Go fast parts.
Yeah. I called him, and I think Daddy took it down there. What's the day? Monday? That was yesterday or Monday? One day this week.
Drive shaft yesterday. He came over.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday afternoon. He brought me some shackles.
I didn't get my message till he was done gone, because Curtis messaged me about bringing them. So, but I think he took them in there and got them.
Yep, I thank you. They're already on there.
Let me see if I can get in touch with my other guest here.
Yep.
I want to leave Robert in there by himself with it.
Riggs won 2 classes.
I think that's what the word on the street is.
Hot dang. And 2 different trucks.
Yeah. I heard some.
Other than our buddies, I call them our South Carolina buddies, Rick and Ray.
Yeah.
I
forgot about
here. Except for them, the locals cleaned up. It's Twinnies, it sounds like.
The misunderstood truck ran too. I don't know if he ran pretty good. I don't know if he broke anything or something. The Ranger.
Yep. I know Mr. Steve's truck was on a pass. Tyler Matthias was sending that sucker.
Oh, he is driving that thing.
That's a fast truck, y'all. I drove it when it was probably like 600-700 pounds heavier.
It looks like they about to tow the front end out from under it.
It did. But they'll get it back under it. That jumping, man, over them hills, if you...
Oh, he was letting it ride too, brother. I saw
He
the
slid
video.
it over the hill. Do you see him go around the turn?
Yeah.
He
I saw
aced
the view.
turn.
Yeah, I saw the view from the other end when he slid it around just a minute ago.
Yeah, from the concession stands.
Yeah, the concession
that's a
stands
good
side,
video.
so he let that thing. Tyler drive it now.
Yeah, man, and see, I credit that to Tyler. Always had that 4-cylinder and drove it and drove it and drove it. You know what I mean? So now he's got power. He's had power for years now, but it's cool to watch people grow.
It'll run. I mean, that was a very good truck. It won a bunch of races.
Yeah, Steve truck and that 1-ton he's got is bad too.
Yeah, Tyler done come a long way. I remember when he was in the stock class when he's running a little green and orange, a yellow and orange truck.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It was a 4-cylinder, and he placed for years. And that, I feel like that really helps develop your driving style. If you're younger or a kid, or if you're just getting started, don't get a bunch of power and start and learn what it's all about.
Yep. Dave and Matt said he's waiting on Matt. I guess Dave's locked out the shop, so he's waiting on Matt to get there. So
he's locked outside.
Yeah, he's locked outside. I guess we can get Robert on here. He can talk.
Yeah, we got Robert on there. Let's bust Robert on here, man.
He can talk some SMO old school racing days.
Yeah. He's entertaining for sure. This should be a good one.
What's up, Mr. Robert? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about y'all today?
We're doing good, man. Glad to have you.
Yes, sir. Glad you joined us.
Glad to be here.
Always.
And don't y'all know that?
That's right.
All the way from the Cajun country down there, right?
Yeah, I am an hour north of New Orleans, Louisiana.
Thank you.
You might be our farthest guest yet, or him or CJ. What do you think?
Yeah, they're pretty good. Pretty far.
Wasn't much mud racing in Louisiana, so that's why I started venturing out, saying if I can get bigger mud racing everywhere else.
You've been doing it for a while, ain't it, with the SMO series and all that good stuff?
Well, I had a little local track that my uncle actually owned, and I ran for him back in the day, and we started there, and then we left there and went and started another track in Mississippi and was doing all local stuff. And we decided to go to a big race and bring all of our local boys, that was our hot shots at the time in Mississippi, to a big race in Oklahoma that they had was paying out $40,000, big payout.
Oh, hey.
We wanted to go up there as a group, and we went as a track and brought 7 trucks, and we was going to show up and show out. We was going to try to take some money home, some boys, and we did. We took a bunch of money and seen some of the trucks in the country at this race, because that's what it was. It was supposed to be the fastest in the country.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about this was straight line, 200-foot drag, 200-foot mud pit, and then an obstacle course for mega trucks.
Heck yeah.
We went thinking we was going to see what we could do, and we went up there and we really placed really, really good, did good. But while we was there, my 7-year-old son said, "Well, Daddy, I thought there was somebody faster than him." I'm like, "Yeah, he didn't show." He said, "Well, everybody didn't show up." I said, "No, all the money didn't bring everybody. Some people just didn't come." Yep. And my 7-year-old son in Bristol at the time said, "Daddy, we should start as a top 10 list like it is on Street Outlaws," because that was just for Street
There you go.
And I come home and he met with about 3 other guys. And I said, "You know what, guys, I'm going to start something. I want y'all to be part of it." We met at a restaurant. And that night we formed a plan of Southern Mud Outlaws, SMO. And I started making some phone calls, and we got us together $15,000. And we said, we're going to set a top 10 list. Well, that don't always get people's money. You know, everybody says, you put up money, they're going to, no, it don't. But I wasn't afraid to talk. So I called drivers I've never met before. I talked pretty bad to them and kind of let them know that they come down here, they was going to get their butt whooped.
Yeah.
And I talked a lot of it, and I called the fastest there was in the country. And I said, if you were supposed to be the fastest, it's your turn to prove it. If you don't come prove it, that yellow streak's going to run from your back all the way down to the hind end. And it was very cocky, very brave, but it worked. We had the fastest trucks in the country come from all over. Even had one show up from Canada. I mean, we had trucks like you wouldn't believe, and we set a top 10 list, and that was the first race ever in Kiel, Mississippi for Southern Mud Outlaws.
Wow. That was like unlimited trucks, right? That wasn't the V-treads.
Well, what we did was we even had small classes. We had 0 to 44 in a race
Okay.
pit, 0 to 4 in a bog pit, and then we got on the fast track, and I had what they call Outlaw Pro Stock, which is, y'all got a couple trucks up there that have that now because some of them has been bought from down here, and are up there in y'all's area now. But they was running, 2.1 seconds and 200 foot from a dead stop, and just back tires with the candles lit all the way down.
Right.
It was Randy Roberts and Never Satisfied and something like that. And then you had John Fleming, which was the fastest guy at the time in the country in the MTM truck that nobody could touch. And he was running 2.1, 2.2. And they come set the record. And then we got them same trucks in Outlaw Pro Stock. We put them in the mud. And we set up the top 10 in the mud. And then I called I got told the two fastest mega trucks at the time, V-Tread, was David Tyson and Scott Sweat. So I called both of them up. Scott said I would be there, but I'm on a cruise that week with my wife. I said, okay. I called David Tyson up and told David Tyson, I heard you was fast. And he said, well, I guess you can say that. I said, you ain't fast enough. So if you want to come down there and get your butt whooped, come. He told me, you got to pay me fuel money. I'll come. I said, I ain't paying you no fuel money to get your butt whooped.
Yeah.
So we got off the phone. I called a friend of mine and I told him, he said, he ain't coming. He said, I got to pass by his house. Tell him I'll pick his truck up and get the butt whooping. I called David back and said, you got your ticket to get your butt whooped. Lo and behold, he come whooped us all by 3 seconds.
Damn, that's pretty good.
It was pretty good, but he said, you talking enough smack, I had to come to shut you up. I said, well, it was all a gimmick. It worked. And that's where we started at, was right there, and just started going places. And I was doing more straight line stuff than I was the mega stuff.
Yeah.
We just started having fun with it and having a blast, and it started growing. Then it got to the point where if you ever been in mud racing long enough, you see where certain classes kind of get where to get stale, I say, and die out a little bit, and the other classes build up bigger.
Yep.
That's
it kind of goes, in cycles.
In valleys, hills and valleys. And that straight line stuff, the money just started not coming into it and started dying down. So me and my wife and the kids decided we was going to go after mega trucks, and we did. And my wife put out a post on Facebook of all things saying we're looking for some mega truck tracks. And the first person to call was the one we waiting on, Matt Bonnet. And he said, what can you offer me that's different than anything else? And I started telling him, and he said, I want to book a race. I said, well, good. And we booked one with him, and I already had one down in Florida. And he said, I'm coming down to one in Florida to meet you. That's the first time me and Matt met, was at a race in Florida that I was putting on. And he come down and race with us, and then we come to this track. And from then on, it's been something that I got to meet Dave and just did things that nobody's ever seen done before.
Yep. Y'all definitely were an inspiration.
Well, thank you for that. But the inspiration for us was we just wanted to make the sport better. We wanted to see something grow and get bigger and, do things that's never been done. SMO put on Dave come from South Carolina all the way down to Mississippi to announce for us. And this race was under a covered arena, 300 foot wide by 300 foot. We put a mud pit in the middle of it, 4 foot deep. We put 2 fast track lanes, ran them heads up side by side. And then we put jumps in there and intermission and put mega trucks underneath a covered arena.
That's awesome.
Ran it all under a covered arena and had a blast with it. And had 98 trucks show up in 4 classes.
Wow.
Hey, Red, I don't mean to tell you, but you see that, Bo? The mud mullet is gone.
I know. Look at that hairdo. School time.
He ain't happy at all.
No.
He's fine with the haircut.
Huh?
He's fine with the haircut.
The mud mullet is gone. How about that? All right, buddy.
He's mad at me because I took
I think it looks good. But
how many trucks did y'all have when y'all were running? Y'all had like 30 or so mega trucks running with you, right?
Yeah.
We did. We started running races and all over the country, and we just built up, getting bigger and bigger. And the drivers was the best part of the whole series, to be honest with you. It become a family. We all started going together, and we set records for ourselves, and we'd break them. And we had 43 mega trucks and 12 1-tons at one race. So that put us at 55 trucks, and we was ecstatic. But I've always said this also, sometimes you have too many because it makes downtime happen because of braking and stuff like that. Just a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's always about the number. We were had fortunate. We had a bunch of drivers that followed us and supported the family. That was the one thing we tried always doing, is make it where it was And I think we did a good job of it.
Yeah.
Doing the autograph, doing the stuff. And to be honest with you, if I would have never met Matt, I don't know if we'd got as far as I did. Matt pushed me further. And Mindy, my wife, tells me that me and Matt are just alike, and we are brothers from another mother.
That's
I
awesome.
don't, that's a good thing, though.
Yeah, that's right. As a matter of fact, I think one of them SMO Unlimited trucks is the Demon truck, the Blue Demon. I think it comes from
Yeah.
down there.
It is.
Yeah.
And
that,
It used
that was one of
Johnny's truck is the
to be a what? Midnight Express or something like that, I think it was.
called Mississippi Nightmare.
There you go. That's right.
Yes.
Rents bought it. Rents got it. And then, yeah.
Yeah, when it was called Mississippi Nightmare, it sat on top of my top 10 list and never got beat.
Yeah. That was
Wow.
a bad machine now.
One night we was at a race. He made his first pass and he went like a 2-2. And I said, "You got more in you." I said, "I bet you 10 t-shirts you can't get under 2-1. I said, "I'll give you free 10 t-shirts." He turned the third kid on and went to the track and he ran that 2-1, but he couldn't stop it and he wound up down there in the trees.
oh no.
God, dog.
It just barely touched one tree and bit the fender and cracked the fiberglass, but he got out of the truck and he said, "Told you I was going to do it." It was pretty cool. That truck was a truck.
10-4. Well, fellas, we got the guest we've been waiting on.
Uh-oh.
The one and only
The voice.
Mr. Matt Bonnet and Dave Renfro. How y'all doing tonight, fellas?
What's happening,
What's
guys?
up, guys? How y'all?
We're doing good.
What's up, Morrell?
What's up, Matt? I told him.
You
Somebody-
just as ugly as the last time I saw you. You ain't changed a bit.
Dang, we were just saying how much y'all look alike.
He said y'all was like brothers, you and Robert.
All I know is this. If you look at your
That's
screen, I got one on the left, I got one on the right. This is exactly what I mean by a rose between two thorns.
Yeah.
You said
Yeah,
that
amen.
same thing
Amen.
this weekend at the Jamboree to Jake Burton.
And it was appropriate then too.
Amen. How y'all fellas? Y'all had a good trip back home? Everything all right?
Yeah, it's good.
Indy was awesome.
Yep. Sorry we're late, by the way. It's my fault. So
Oh, ain't no worries, man.
Yeah, no
We're
problem.
very
bro.
casual. Hey,
Yeah,
I got one
so-
question though. You see this down here? They want to know if you got shirts and stickers and stuff still left from SMO. I don't know if you
SMO shirts and
here where you
stickers.
can see the comments.
We are bringing brand new shirts, brand new hats, and stickers to South Carolina because this is the reunion race, and this is that I didn't think would ever happen. And we can talk about that. It's funny how it did. The two guys that y'all just brung on, I think the world of. And at one time, SMO was at the top, we think, as far as it, being set in a bracket for everybody else to look at and say, okay, we need to run races this way. And it was because of them two guys and the crew that we had doing it. And it got where, as me being the owner and the one trying to make sure everything goes right, overwhelming.
Oh yeah.
I had to take a step
Yeah.
back because it got between me and my family.
Yep.
And
Oh, yeah.
it's not worth it. Nothing's worth getting between you and your family. I learned the
That's it.
hard way.
Amen.
Learn the hard way. So we took some years off, and Mr. Matt Bonnet decided this year, I think it was around January, to give me a call. And he called me and said we were just talking about different things, and he asked the question, "You think you ever run another race?" I said, "Probably not." I said, "My wife Mandy throws up. If she ever wants to do anything, it'd be a reunion race, just one time, just to get everybody back together, have fun." Then Matt can tell you what happened from there.
So in that conversation, I'm gonna bring this back a little bit on Robert and myself. So just so everybody understands the complexity of what our relationship was. So, first time I met Robert was on a phone call when we did Thunder Valley Mudplex, and we were trying to figure out, what can we do to brand this track and kind of set it apart from other tracks and what was going on in our area at the time. Robert puts out a post about wanting to find some tracks to bring his top 10 list and all that stuff around. So we had that conversation. We figured it out, made the deal, and then I go to Bithelo with Robert to run a race, which Bithelo was a bucket list for me as a mega truck guy. So we met for the first time at that race, which ended up being a really good race. Some things happened, and what's the right? Made us think, all right, if we're going to do this, then we have to think about this as safety and that safety and this kind of deal. So that kind of set up a foundation for the safety aspect of what SMO needed to work with going forward. In my mind, I don't think I've ever said it that way to Robert, but in my mind, that set that tone for me safety wise. And then we get to my race, and everything goes the way it does, and then we just build our friendship along the way. And in that whole friendship, we learned each other's families, and we learned that not only do we have a job to do to put on good races, but I immensely had a lot of connection with Robert on how he does stuff, how I do stuff. We just work really well together. And then we just started pounding the bushes, and going to the shows, PRI, and hitting those sponsors and doing everything we could do to just get stuff for the drivers, to give back, along with the purses and all the stuff. And, right there towards when everything happened, I think it's safe to say, Robert, there was that 1 year. We were upwards of $250,000 between purses and sponsorship stuff.
The last 2 years, Graham was $70,000 just in sponsorship money just for drivers. That didn't go to us. That went to
Right.
drivers.
That was the last year we went to PRI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in all that, we became really, really close friends, And I'm going to say the same thing that I told Robert, just so everybody knows. Like, when everything happened, I became bitter. I became upset because I felt like the hard work was for nothing. But then what happened was I didn't speak to one of my best friends for a long time, and in January, when I finally decided to make the call, it was just an overflow of emotion that came out of Robert and me because we were so close, and I apologize to Robert then on the phone, and I still apologize now that I see his face in this live feed. I felt like for that year and a half that I wasn't the friend I should have been. And I use that now as fuel to keep me going, because there was a point in all this until Dave, being one of my closest friends in this whole deal, taught me into going in back to Thunder Alley, and like knows how passionate I am about it and how I feel about it. And sometimes that comes out in my voice and how I say things at a track. But in this whole deal, I get to see my buddy again,
Yeah.
And then they talked about the next race, and if they ever did something they wanted to do a reunion, I felt like there was no other place to do that but at Thunder Alley, because that's kind of where, I may be biased on saying this, and Robert, if I am, you can tell me, but I feel like that's where Thunder Valley was where SMO gained that traction. That's when everything started kicking off. And if I'm wrong, Robert, feel free to stop me and
No, before you come on, I even told both of these guys, and I still mean it to this day, that if me and you did not meet and have that meeting, I don't know if SMO ever would have went where it went, because you come in and you challenged me, I challenged you, and then both of us just went with guns ablazing. And we did. And I think, Rhett, you should understand this, and BT the same thing, and Dave knows this. When you put your heart and soul in something, and it is like your fourth kid, that was my fourth kid.
Yeah.
I put it back, but then I let it consume me, and I let the evil part come out of me.
That's right.
And I started I didn't have love for it no more. I got burnt out.
Yeah.
Everybody's been through it. I don't care who you are.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get burnt out.
And y'all were at like 250% when the SMO was cracking. The three of y'all traveling, promoting it, doing everything you can, building trucks.
Yeah.
And
I don't mean to get into my feelings on all this or whatever. I want everybody to know across the board, that's how I felt about this whole situation. And I don't care where I go, who I see, I want people to understand that there's love and there's people that like generally their friendships mean something to them. Like that's what this.
Yeah.
I don't care where you at. If you're mud racing, like the family thing that Dave talks about, the mud family, how tight they are. Everybody's going to have a fuss. Everybody's going to have a whatever, you know. But at the end of the day, we're the same dudes that just love mud and love trucks and love whatever they are, you know. And the animosities and the crap that we have in our sport.
It's got to go.
It's got to go.
We got to get over that. It's got to go.
Yep.
And if somebody loses and they think that, oh man, something happened, and it's all right.
At the end of the day, we're here to have fun and hang out with our buddies and their families and have a good time.
It's all about the camaraderie.
I'm glad SMO's back because I'm a
reunion
fan.
Is what that's about.
And y'all had it going on.
Yep.
Well, that's why this race, I told Matt. So when he made that phone call, and we got his phone, and he called me back like I think it was 4 or 5 days later. He said, I can't stop thinking about it. I said, I can't either. I said, it's in my mind. And I said, Minnie said, she sees a fire back in me. And I said, it is, Matt. I told Matt, it was a fire back in me. I'm like, I think I want to try this. Matt said, I think we're going to. And it really it clicked. But it's still that thing of, you know, it's a love that you never get rid of. I don't care who you are. Once mud's in your blood, it don't come out. It's the truth.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the bigger part of this whole thing is it was the friendships we all gained. I mean, there's times that we've all wanted to just knock each other's head off. Trust me.
But that's how your buddies are supposed to be, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
If they're really your buddies, they're supposed to tell you how they feel.
Right. Amen.
And they got your back no matter what.
Yep.
Right.
That's what a real friend is.
Yep.
And I know these three on the bottom of this screen right here, they was like that through that whole deal. And I think that's what made it work so well.
It did. And it's a funny thing about how me and Matt met. So the first race he's talking about he ever come down to, Robert was very, very trying to get his name into the business, correct?
Yeah,
So Robert called out the baddest bad Florida mega trucks and said, I'm challenging you to a race. We're coming to beat you in your home state. Well, I brought Matt down there for the first time meeting me into a hostile situation.
A dog fight, what it was.
Yeah, a dog fight. But we had a good time and we learned a lot that night. And I ain't gonna talk about who won the race, SMO, of course. But we had so much fun. We really did. Going to Matt's track, I got to meet a lot of different people that I've never met before, and just that race at Matt's track, I think it just kind of went together and everything synced. And when it did, Matt knew I didn't know what I need to do for the sponsorships I had. Matt said, I can help you on that. And it just started coming. Then Dave took, because at the time I was announcing all the races, Dave took that over and Dave did that. I had nothing to worry about. It was in the best hands you could ever, State Farm hands.
Yeah.
We had it. So,
Speaking of that, they were all saying, how is Dave so quiet? Somebody
ain't nobody hearing Dave say nothing.
They got to get that out.
Can't get a word in.
I got my stuff. I know what I'm going to do, so I'm fine. So I'll let them get that out because I got
Kind of like you on
I got a
Oprah hand.
list. That's what I've been doing.
Man,
They've
just
been
said you're
chatting.
making notes.
I've
Yeah,
been
making
notes.
notes.
I got my stuff.
We're gonna get the love story out the way, then we will talk racing. How about that?
I appreciate that.
I brought Dave down to Mississippi about 19-degree weather and put him up in a tower and put him underneath the roof and told him, you got to announce this. And Dave's up there shivering, but he sure did do a good job for me.
He always, man, always. He's golden.
I like the Mississippi track. We've been tracks all over the place. I mean, just
Man.
got to see because it got almost to be a joke. Mom would say, "Where are you going?" "I don't know, Mom. I'm climbing up in the back of a Dodge truck and I'm gone. I'm not driving. Matt's driving. I'll let you know where I'm at." I don't know.
Let you know where we stop.
That's right.
Yep.
So I mean, it got to be a joke. But
To
the
be
whole
honest,
deal-
that's the only reason we couldn't run with y'all is because we couldn't do the traveling. Y'all, you had it going on, but I just couldn't travel that much.
if you can do the traveling, just like what we did in Indy this past weekend, I mean that, and I know it's easier said than done. Especially, I tell everybody at every driver's meeting I attend, and I've got anything to do with, it's tough. It's tough getting to that gate. But we had people come from Minnesota, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. I mean, New York. Some folks drove 10 hours just to get where we were at this past weekend.
Yeah.
And the racing was incredible. And it's the same way. It was the same. See, that's what we got introduced to with SMO. It was a regular group of folks from all over. And, you know, we'd get to see one another at least about once every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks. And so this time it works out pretty good. At least most of the folks don't have to travel too awful much. And I know there's a lot of them that do. I'm not denying that, especially maybe central or lower part of Florida. I'm not denying that at all. But we tried with being centrally located right in between two interstates, kind of got the name out there on the track as far as the track's got a pretty good reputation. We've been working hard on that with the world record and all this other stuff. The SMO deal really pretty much made a lot of sense in order to do it. And then man, I gotta tell you, man, there's something going on with this between the pits. Because if y'all don't remember, but I remember the last time I was on this show, I was on vacation in Daytona.
That's right.
And that was on a Wednesday night. I had gotten contacted 2 days before this show, and that was the surprise I've been working on since end of July. And this race is going to be filmed to be televised.
Awesome.
And so that was just a little bit more of a, and it just happened to work out that way. Literally, just pretty much all confirmation.
Finalized Friday, Thursday.
Whenever we were in Indiana, yeah, Thursday morning or Friday, one of the two. Thursday because we were eating at Charlie Brown.
Yep, that's
so
right.
that was Thursday. So we got that done. That's why there ain't no way on God's green earth I was coming back to South Carolina and not do a video and get that information out because I was about to die.
Yeah, that was good.
That's right.
He was killing me, I can promise you.
It was so. But the good part about it is, you know, that's going to be everybody. That is street.
Everybody across
That's
the board.
DOT. That's, you know,
The
unlimited
guides.
and the megas and the 1-tons and everybody.
Side by
So
sides.
it's everybody. We're gonna try to showcase all the racers that we've got right here in the Midlands and in South Carolina, and then also everybody coming in from SMO. So that works out really good. And there's not a lot of mud. There's not a lot of mud racing on TV right now.
Yeah.
So
No,
there's
we'll
not.
try to get that.
And it'll be real mud
Yeah.
racing, not
Yeah.
some stage, put somebody in somebody's truck.
Yeah,
It's
no, we ain't
gonna
doing that. No. There
Real
will
deal.
be nothing. Oh, y'all hang on with it. Y'all not gonna hear me
There ain't
announce.
no editing to this.
No.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be. Well, hang on now. We're gonna put this truck here and this truck here just for TV. No.
Yep.
That's not happening. No.
So I gotta go out there and turn it over and show out or something. Get on
Whatever.
Right.
Whatever. And then whenever we got to telling
You
people
gonna
up
love me
in
some?
Indiana what we were doing, they want to come down to the track now in October because they
Yeah.
heard about SMO, they heard about the fans, they heard about the trucks, and then they heard about the TV. Well, heck, now they're coming. So that truck that everybody saw that jumped 298.42 feet back in May, now he's gonna come run in the mud.
Oh
That's what
yeah.
I'm talking about. Yeah.
So
Yep, Jake's
That was
supposed to be here for that
incredible.
race. And
Yeah,
the
that's
Knights from up there in Illinois
Yeah.
is not far from any. They're bringing their DOT truck that they run up there to come run with the DOT guys down here. And they've never done a horseshoe, but they wanted to do it. So they came to the first race, but didn't bring their truck. They just wanted to see the place. So now they're coming to join in on the fun. So it's really cool for them to do that. So,
If everybody has forgotten, these three guys right here on the bottom are awesome at promoting.
Yes, sir.
And I think the fire's back, especially
Yeah.
in Matt. I
well,
know Robert as well,
Yes.
but I see some fire back in Matt for sure.
well, the thing that happened for me was 2 years ago
Mhm.
at Bloomsburg. You know, I took myself out of the truck at the Jamboree and had the opportunity to be the race director for that and kind of coordinating that. I forgot how much I missed it from Thunder Valley from the original track, and that whole deal, the way it's orchestrated, you have a time slot, and so everybody's got to be here and here and here at a certain time. Just having that opportunity to, you know, make all that happen, and then watch those guys come in like rock stars, and just the crowd's blaring. You know, they're up on their feet because of the way the stands are. There's 3,000 or 4,000 people at Bloomsburg in those stands, and the music's playing. They're getting introduction or whatever. Dave's doing his thing with Mike, and I'm just as jazzed up on doing that as I am sitting in my truck.
Truth be told, he could finally hear what I was saying about him because he wasn't in his truck with his helmet on, and it got him fired back
Yeah,
up. He
that's
didn't
right.
have to wait
That's
till he
right.
saw a video of it.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that was kind of said, man, this is what I need to be doing. So that kind of started that effect to Dave talking me back into the track thing, and then now we're here. It's kind of full circle, you know.
Yeah.
So
Coming around.
yeah, and I'm happy for it. It's a lot of work. I now remember how much work it was, and I think back, God
Yes.
Almighty, how in the world did I do all of this back then, and how in the world did I race the truck and get the truck ready and all that mess? I'm like, God Almighty, that's like, and we were running 25 or 30 shows a year back then. Not only we were doing all local stuff, all SMO stuff. Some of the MTS stuff was wrapped up in some of that in some of those years. Like, good Lord, if I didn't have those guys that were helping me with fuel and hotels like Slime and Permatex and Fast Orange, no shameless plug there. But you know, I didn't have those along the way.
Gotta throw them in there, man.
No way I could afford to drive up and down the road like you were talking, Rhett.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
You know, so
But there was a lot of firsts that went on in SMO. I personally never walked up to a drive-through window at McDonald's before until we went to Mississippi, some kind of little podunk town outside of where the track was, and we had Michael Brown with us, and we tried to hook him up on a date because the truck couldn't get through the drive-through. And I'd have done about anything, lady. Just give us some food or pay. God, we're about to starve.
she looked,
Yeah, please.
she looked like a Fraggle. She had purple hair.
Yeah.
I like. Hey, that's a good
That's the
deal.
only thing I remember about it. So, yeah.
Well, let's how about this big race y'all having coming up in? I think it's the 14th, 15th, or 15th,
October 13th and 14th, Friday the 13th, and it's going to be all good
Friday
mud
13th.
racing, including a band and DOTs and street going on that Friday night. So it's going to be like, and naturally, Tommy Kirby is going to get us all taken care of on food as he always does. So I'm sure Robert's happy about that because he's already probably counting on at least 1 or 2 elephant ears.
That's correct.
There
I can't
Yeah.
for a couple years.
So
That's one thing I'm looking forward to. I'm being serious on that one. We ain't had one in a couple years. I didn't know what it was when I come to South Carolina the first time, and I wouldn't order it. But the second race to come back, I ordered it, and we loved it.
Elephant ear, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't know what it was.
Not only is the mud race, you know, Friday night, they're also opening up motocross, the AMA track, and the supercross track, and trails at 9:00 Friday morning. So if you're racing and you want to come Friday morning, you can get in at 9. You can ride trails all day for the same price. Supercross, AMA tracks open. So you have all that leeway for that $40 for Friday and Saturday to do everything at the track that you want to do.
A whole weekend out of it.
Yep, I mean, you got the camping. We opened up the camping spots. Finally got all that figured out, insurance wise. So camping spots, you can get a spot for $45 a night with power and water. No sewer, with power and water.
or just primitive camping.
Or you can do primitive camping, which don't cost you anything. We just got a designated area for that. You know,
And I promise you this: after Indy,
That's
we
cool.
found out how nice those permanent showers are. That's very nice, and
Very
we've
nice.
got
Oh,
permanent
man.
showers there at Thunder Alley, and so we found out
Yep.
how extremely special that is. So we got that going on. Going to have a band Friday nights. Just going to kick back with it's the Mudd family, so you know how it goes. So it's going to be all good.
William McCarn said Jacob ears.
Ain't getting in
Yeah.
that.
And I'll tell
Yes.
you, that was from the ladies' draw perspective. Thunder Valley with the permanent bathrooms and showers is a game changer.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that, you know,
Well, we've always said we were family friendly because we want you to bring everybody. I mean,
yep,
so
Portalettes are-
and that
I mean-
that's a big deal.
that's
Yeah.
a really big deal for the women.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got bathrooms and now we got showers and you know, so
And that's a beautiful big facility too.
yeah, they've done a pretty amazing job getting it looking right and doing a lot of work out there to get it going the right direction. They've got plans to do a lot more stuff other than just mud racing out there and you know, looking for different opportunities and stuff like that for people to step up and know something about, you know, different venues that they have that capability of doing. So if anybody out there has an idea, feel free to call me or message them at the Masters Motoplex and, you know, put your name in the hat to have an opportunity out there about something going on.
Well, it was. I mean, we've only done 3 shows. It kind of seems like more than that because it's just been so busy with going on out there, and we're already working on 24. So we've got a lot of stuff to do. Got various things that we're trying to check boxes and check with folks and do this, that, and the other thing. So yeah, it's been real busy. But we're blessed right here in South Carolina. I mean, we talked to people from all over the country this past weekend. They don't have tracks like what we've got at all.
Mud Mecca.
Yeah, you can, you can't swing a gear shift around here without, okay, there's a mud race right over there.
Yep.
That's right. Amen. Yep.
Go back to our Georgia buddies.
Right.
Man, there's only one track in Georgia.
One track. Yep.
Well, no,
I think
two.
it's two.
Right?
It's
Leisure
two.
Park and Cobbtown.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I checked and I reached out, and I think there may be 3 in Florida. Maybe. I think there's probably 2, maybe 3 in Alabama. Robert, I guess, can tell you about Louisiana and Mississippi. Now, I have no idea what Texas has got, but other than that, I mean, there's just not a lot in regards to it.
We're blessed too because we got all types of racing.
Oh yeah. Right.
What was you saying, Robert? Go ahead.
Mississippi has a lot of dirt drags. They got one mud race track, but the other tracks in Mississippi are all dirt drags. They got 3 or 4 of them up in North Mississippi.
I want to go try that.
Dirt
DTs.
drags, side by side dirt drags, 300 foot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. DTs.
Which is fun,
man,
but I love the variety, man.
yeah.
And that's what's something that's so cool about tracks around here. Everybody's got their own niche, kind of. Matt's got a facility like Tony where he can do everything in the middle of it.
Yeah.
BT's got a bog, and then he's got the flat track, so
Yeah.
makes this place a little different.
Right.
I love the variety. I get
Yeah,
sick of
I
one
agree.
type of thing. If I just went straight all the time, I'd get bored. If it was just dirt, or if it was just mud,
That's right.
or if I just turned all the time, I get bored.
Right.
Like
And you bring up that variety, and like I think a lot of guys know how my brain works when it comes to a track. Like I don't want to see the same thing every time.
That's
I
right.
don't want to do the same thing every time. So like to me, as my job is to keep the driver on their toes. Like
Yep.
I'm gonna change something up, and there's gonna be guys that don't like it, right? And then
Yeah.
there's gonna be guys that love it, and then there's
Yep.
gonna be guys that don't really care what it is as long as they unload their truck and they run it through a
National
mud
race.
hole,
That's right.
That's
You
right.
know,
Make
so-
it pass. Yep.
My job is to keep that driver on their toes because personally, I don't want to see the same guy win every time.
Amen.
Right? I want them to say, all right, I can't build my truck, I can't set my truck up for match track.
Yep.
I have to be in that middle. So then that gives a whole nother brain set or mindset, I should say, of I just got to keep my truck simple because if I make it where it turns left better, that bit Matthew Underwood in the behind one time because he actually turned his 4-link bars in to make it go around and turn the left turn at Thunder Valley, and we actually went the opposite direction.
Oh,
and
man.
his bars in. So when you do that, I realized that like some guys don't like that change, right? Some
Yeah.
drivers like they put
They
their
like what
bodies
they like,
on,
that's
and
right.
that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right? We've
Yep.
seen it across the board, and it don't matter what track it is. So if I throw just a little bit of a hurdle in there, it's not because I'm against that guy or I don't want to see him come, because I want to throw you something that you may not have done before.
Yep.
Push you a little bit more to try something different. You have the option not to do it, and I'm cool with that. I'll never force anybody to do anything. But I want to give you that little extra nudge. Like, man, I didn't think I could do that. That was pretty damn cool.
Yep.
So, and Robert, we did the same thing with SMO, and Robert pushed me to think a different direction. And, I've called Robert years ago with Thunder Valley and say, man, what do you think about this? And he's like, I think that's cool. I dig it. I'd probably do it this way though, because he's never going to agree with me 100%. He's always going to, say, well, I'm there, but maybe this way. And we'll talk about it, and I'll call him back a couple of days and I say, yeah, I think you're right. I thought about that for a couple of days. So,
Well,
Yep.
promoters and drivers are. This is what we're getting into a stale port of everything, and this is what always made me and Matt work good together. I call it the yin and yang situation. You got to have drivers happy, but you got to have fans happy, because if you don't have drivers, the fans
Yep.
are not happy. But
Yep.
if you don't have fans, the driver's not getting paid, so they're not happy.
That's
And
right.
if you do the same
Yeah.
thing every month, every mud bog is the same thing, the fans get bored.
Yes.
That's right. He has to change it up. And me and Matt's talked about this every time we go somewhere. Don't build the same track. If you look at NASCAR, they have cookie cutter tracks, they call them, right? They all mile and a half.
Yep.
That is the number one thing NASCAR is trying to get away from because they've
Yes.
seen downcline.
And
Don't
it's
get
working.
started on that.
Like that road race up there in Chicago, they had like 200,000 people outside watching that thing.
Okay. Dave
It's
and me
working
might
for
not
them.
like the Chicago road race, but there was fans that do like the Chicago road race.
Yeah.
I
And you
liked it.
look at that. If you're going to bring in new people, it ain't always going to be the same thing. Nobody's going to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day of their life and
Right.
be happy.
I
Variety.
got some young ones eat chicken nuggets every day, every meal. So I mean,
Well, that's because they ain't
They'll
got
get tired of that though.
bills.
but you said on y'all's race, that's Friday night. It's for you're racing DOTs Friday night, and the SMO is gonna be Saturday.
Yeah. So the way it's working is DOTs will run qualifying on Friday night. They'll make a pass. So the way the track is, so we got two mud holes on the far outside by the guardrails, and then we have the two hill and hole, basically hill and hole track for the megas in the middle, right? So there's a lane in between that's about 40 foot wide.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is the guardrail that's at the end of the track in the turn. So you'll start at the bottom of that guardrail. You'll run down that middle between the hill and hole and the mud hole, and there's going to be a little tabletop there. You'll have to run over that tabletop, and then you make a turn around where our normal mega truck 1-ton starting line is at. You'll run around that little jump and then back through the mud hole to the finish line. So it's basically a horseshoe backwards from what we normally do.
With a hill in it, tabletop.
Tabletop, no hill in the mud hole.
No hill in the mud hole.
And that tabletop's not going to be but about 2 foot off the ground with long slopes on it, maybe a 10-foot top.
That's
Yeah.
like
Kind of like Tweeties.
Sexton. Chad Sexton was just saying, he was scared of hills. Now I know if he was joking or whatever. There's some
He was
that
joking.
are
Yeah.
kind of like
Right.
I've been to Virginia to see him run. And hills are the least of his worries.
Yeah.
He will flat out just sail it. I mean, in more ways than one.
They
So
don't
we
call it
do-
Superman
If
for
you
no
don't
reason.
like a
right?
hill, you don't have to just you don't have to try to be Jake Burton. So
That's right.
Yeah.
just
like Tweeties.
Yeah, exactly.
It's,
Right.
it's out the mud hole. When it's in the mud hole, sometimes it's hard to control yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Right. So in
'Cause you
doing
don't
that,
know-
there'll be two tracks. So we will run two DOTs at one time. One will be on the left
Oh.
side of the truck, and one will be on the right-hand side of the track.
Yeah.
That's
All
pretty
right.
good.
So we'll set timers at the starting line, of course, and then we'll set timers at the finish lines. So once you get a combined time. All right, you'll make one pass in the left lane, one pass in the right lane.
Okay, that's for qualifying Friday night,
That's
right?
qualifying.
Okay.
We'll combine the times, and then on Saturday at 2:00, we're going to start off with top 8 of those qualifying.
Okay.
All right. So if we got, let's just say 16 trucks, we bring them back to top 8 of combined times.
Mhm.
All right. And then we'll run the fastest guy will get lane choice. Second fastest guy, because it'll be 1 verse 2, 3 verse 4. Right, Robert? Isn't that what we talked about?
No, so wait. I think Matt's looking on that. But
He keeps me straight on this
1
part.
verse
This is where I
8.
get totally
Right.
confused.
so on Friday night, after they make their 2 passes, and this is DOT, and this is something me and Matt talked about for Rick, because me and him had this conversation about 5 years ago. We want the DOT guys to be just as important and let them know they're just as important as the mega, so they're going to get the same treatment. After they make their right and left lane pass, they will have their third pass option where they can throw their slowest time away and come back and run that same lane to try to get their time faster.
Friday night.
Friday night.
We'll set the top 8 for DOTs. Then when you get ready Saturday, the way it works is you're going to have 8 drivers. We're going to have a bag, and it's going to have 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, and 2 4s. This
Draw
might
them
be
out.
the
Good
fastest
deal.
guy versus the second fastest might draw each other. It
You
ain't gonna
can pull out the bag like we did in Mississippi.
just like in Mississippi. The
Okay.
way I do that is everybody always puts 1 versus 8, 2 versus
right.
7, 3 versus 6, and so forth. Well, it's hard for them guys that's lower in speed to beat that guy. So it's already giving that guy almost a win most of the time. We don't want that. We're going to let
Yeah.
you draw out the bag. It's going to be fating who you draw. But the way it helps the fastest driver is, and that's what Matt was saying, whoever had the fastest pass out of your pairing gets lane choice.
Oh,
So it
okay.
makes you run your truck harder to make sure you want lane choice in that next race you get.
That's right. That's
And
cool.
y'all gonna race
like
that
that,
down to
'Cause
one
you
fella?
got the
Y'all
possibility of
fastest
making
time on
some
that?
passes.
Well,
It-
if you
I
do
like
not take your third pass option and you win the event, you will make 5 passes all weekend. That's it, 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So you-
cool. I like that.
1 in each lane. That's 2 passes. And
Yep.
then you'll go into the first round will be 4 races out of the 8. Then you're going to go down to 4 drivers making 2 races. And then the final race is 2 trucks.
Yep.
All right.
So BT asked the question if it was the fastest guy. So on Saturday in top 8, the timers
It's
go
a
away.
shootout. It's just
It's a
shootout.
shootout.
First man.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty neat. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's a
Heads up.
shootout.
We'll have somebody on the start line to press the green button. He's going to have a camera on it. The camera's going to be watching both trucks with the green lights. So we're going to get you if you jump. If you jump, you lose. That's your
There you
loss.
Yep.
And we got a camera on the finish line to get the winner on the finish line. If it
I
comes
love
to
it.
a judgment call, me and Matt talked about this, and I know he said this, and we're going to do it. If it comes to a judgment call on the jump, one person's going to make that call, and it's going to be me and
Well,
Matt if he has to. We're going to
Well, I
make
got-
that call.
I got something that might help you out. I got the staging light, Matt, with the red light that works perfect. 2 lanes. It's mobile if y'all want to use it.
Is it got a jump light?
Yeah, it's got a red light. You have a man in the middle. It's a double bulb stage. It'll pre-stage stage, and the man in the middle flips the switch. If they leave before the green light comes on, it'll red light them. And it works great.
All right. I can dig that.
We've been
Yeah,
playing
and
with it.
I don't want to be in a judgment call, and we having a
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that camera's
Yeah.
gonna cause you. That's gonna cause a lot of fussing with that camera.
No.
We already-
I'm with you. And we've
I
talked
don't-
about that.
I don't have a red light. I don't have a wind light. My wind light tore up. They tore that song up. But I got the staging light, and
Yeah.
it'll red light you if you leave early.
Right. Yeah. I'll call you tomorrow on that.
Yeah, we'll get up with you. That ain't no problem.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Did the wind
Yeah.
light get hammered?
It got hammered. Literally got hammered.
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 As long as he's all right.
Yeah,
We can
it got
laugh, but
hammered.
As long as he's all right.
Yeah, no doubt.
and the
But
whole
the red
thing
light
about
works good.
Brett and BT, if y'all understand this, is it's put it in the driver's hands.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
You just
'Cause
got
you
to
can have
be
the fastest truck there, and if you leave, you're done.
And
Well,
for this,
yeah.
and for
If
this
you leave
race,
on the
for
red,
sure,
I love it.
This race gonna be some good money up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I saw. It'd be some good money.
Yeah. And
What's
it's
Alvin think about-
it's $1,000 guaranteed on 10 trucks. And I want everybody
Yeah.
to understand how I do 10 truck deal.
It's got
So
to have the
if
10
9
truck.
trucks show up, I still pay $900.
Yeah.
Okay. I
8
got you.
trucks show up, I pay $800.
So you're
Right.
paying $100 a truck to the 10 truck, basically.
Correct.
Okay.
So if we got 10 other trucks show up, then y'all are paying in $100. That's a $2,000 purse.
Heck yeah.
All right. The 25 trucks show up, that's $2,500 purse. So I'm guaranteeing $1,000 from the track.
That's awesome.
Unless there's only 9 trucks show up, then
Yep.
it's $900 plus their $100, which makes it $1,800. If that makes sense to you.
Mhm.
So, and that's the way I've always done it. So, but
It's
and then
it's gonna be a good one.
I'm
yeah,
looking
and that's
forward
the
to it.
DOT stuff. And then, like we said, top 8 on that is at 2:00. And then Saturday, we want to run some unlimited guys. We want those guys to come, but I'm going to run them in the mud hole because the way we're doing the track this time, it still got ruts from the last race, but we're going to flatten them out. The tracks are going to be flat. There's not going to be any bumps in them. And I'm probably just going to go there and just scratch it with the Traco
Mhm.
because there's going to be so many trucks run through it over the course of those 2 days. If I put the tractor in it and I try to drive through it with the perfector or the cultivator, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to make a hole with them tires on that tractor.
That's right.
Then we got ruts, which we've been continuing with all year, trying to figure the dirt out. So the best thing is to do is just run across it with the bulldozer, flatten it out, put water on top of it, and just scratch it with the hoe. And then
Yep.
basically the trucks are going to mix up the mud along the weekend, right? So I don't
Heck
want it. I don't want it to be rough for the 1-ton guys. I don't want it to be rough. I mean, for the DOT guys, I don't want it to be rough for the unlimited guys, especially, or the street or whatever. So I feel like that's the best way to do that. And it's still all of an unknown too, like
Yeah.
how the track is
That's
going to get. So
And you know our unlimited guys will go in the mud. Guys like Johnny Martin,
right,
Jason
right.
King, Robbie, they'll go in there. Gavin.
Right. And the way
I
I
love
want to
seeing
do
in the
that
mud. That's my favorite.
is I want them to race together, one at a time, one in each lane. I'll take the fastest pass like those guys like, but you got to make 2 hits.
Yeah.
You got to make 2 hits. I won't combine them. I'll do the fastest pass, but you got to make
put on
2
a
hits.
show. That's right.
You know, you got to put on a show for the fans. You got to make them happy, so they want to come back. So
and making the fans happy part is exactly something else we're going to do different for this race. We got a brand new entrance that you enter the pit with for at least 1 tons and megas. I don't think it's going to affect anybody else.
nope.
But it's way cool. It's not just sitting flat and then you take off in the pit. No, you're going to be elevated and you go down into the pit. Now, you can choose. I compare it to like whenever you go swimming, when you get into the pool. If you want to use the steps, go right ahead. If you want to go off the high dive, rock out.
I like it.
I mean, make a splash one way or the other.
That's right.
Yep.
I sent Robert the layout of the track, how wide it was, how long it was, and I said, "Hey, this is where my mud holes at. Place the jumps where you want them. Let me see what your ideas are." So he sent me all that, and I was like, "Yep, that'll work. I'm good with it. I can make that happen. That's easy enough." So we built that before, right after Jake did his jump, when we were moving that big old pile of dirt. We moved the dirt for the hills and all that stuff. So I said, and I'm just like walking around the track looking. I'm like, bing, I know what I want to do. I called Robert, told him my idea. And he says, works for me, sounds cool. So I laid it out. We put above the guardrail that's in the turn. That's about 5.5 feet from the bottom of the floor to the top of that guardrail up there. So I have put about 10 loads of clay. Again, it goes over the guardrail. Like guardrail is inside that clay up to the top of that thing. And then I got loads of dirt to make a starting line, a launch pad. So like you will start and jump into the track over the guardrail.
I mean,
That's awesome.
to anybody who's never really got to see maybe the Tysons run, and now I can say the Tysons, not just David Tyson, because all the Tysons, and I'm going to throw Zach Kiesler's name in there. I mean, give someone the opportunity. That's all you're doing. They can take it easy down in there. That's fine. That's entirely up to them. The mentality of some of these guys, that will not happen. They are going to lock and load. It's going
They
to
have to. Some of them.
Something's going to tear up a truck. It's
Right.
not that daggum big.
No, but that's
I
why we
think that
roller down across the guardrail in case somebody had a problem on the starting line that they're not just nosing over and hitting the backside of the guardrail, right? They want to be able to. You want that safety factor of having them an exit ramp if it needs to be an exit ramp, or if there's guys that aren't comfortable with jumping it right off the start line, they can roll down into the track and then get then they can go. It's all up driver at that point, but there's an option for the crazy ones, whatever you want to call them, that they're just going to leave it off the trans brake and hit it wide open, be shifting gears as they're going off the ramp more than likely, and then they're probably going to jump out.
Now, Jeffrey Hare driving the Hare 1 ton. Oh, yeah, that's got his name all over
send
it.
it at it.
I mean, I know what I do. It is what it is.
While we're talking about SMO, what are some of the heavy hitters you got coming? Because I know Robert's bringing some of his friends down here, or up here, or over here, or wherever we are.
Some of the original family is coming. Some have sold out, unfortunately, because we've been out for over 2 years. But some of the original families coming. There's a couple races this weekend that's happening, and some guys have not committed yet because they're going to go race this weekend, and next weekend, then they're going to let us know. We understand that part of it. I do not tell Red I want to tell you something, but I can't because we sent out some invites, and we told them we would not let them know because we did learn a long time ago when we started putting a list out. It kept some people away because they said, I'm not coming to race with them because I'm coming to race for 3rd or 4th. And it just got to be where we started hiding it a little bit, not trying to deter anybody, but trying to make it where you didn't have mixed emotions before you showed up.
Right.
Well, Rhett, I'll tell you this. If you did not want to go see or get to go see as many of them SMO races as you wanted to because of travel, it's not that far this time from where you're at. So you
Amen. That's right.
It's going to be a heck of a race.
Oh,
With
I
the
will
way
be
the
there.
track's laid out and the way we're doing this, and it's a shootout, we've seen some things with the shootout that you're never going to see before. We've seen where 1 versus 2 and the fastest truck got knocked out in the first round. We've
Yep.
seen it where a guy made the same pass all night long and was consistent all night. Not the fastest truck, but consistent all night. And the fastest truck made a mistake in the turn, and he still beat him. It's
It'll
so
happen.
much
Heck
variable.
Heck with a turn, we've seen people spin out in the mud pit, hit reverse, and still go over the
We did
finish
see
line.
that.
And that was
Correct.
at Sign Rock in
Um,
Virginia.
Yeah.
One of the guys that I love, and I love to watch him drive, and everybody does, is I gave him a nickname. He's called Kamikaze Scott Sweat. I mean, there's no
That
other way to
is.
describe Scott Sweat as
Scott
Kamikaze.
Sweat will go by you just flying. He allowed to have 1 tire, 2 tires up, and you go throw your
Yep.
2 fingers as he goes by.
He throws the two fingers up, and he's in the middle of a turn. It's sideways. He's wide open on the gas, and he's looking at you, smiling, throwing 2 fingers up.
And everything, most of the stuff we just said, it got flooded at Sign Rock Mud Bog in Virginia. One of the best races we ever had
It was
because
good,
I mean it was awesome.
We had Amish people there.
Yeah,
Amish
It
people.
was- and the good part about it, every highlight that we've just talked about that we think is going to happen, it doesn't matter whether it's street, DOT, unlimited, mega, 1 ton, whatever. All of that's going to be filmed, and that's what you're going within 30 minutes or so. And I don't think there's going to be any editing, but within 30 minutes or so after he gets finished, it clears FCC. It's on TV. You can go right and watch it, and for the next 10 years, you can tell everybody, say, "Let me show y'all what I did or what I witnessed."
That's right.
Look at me.
And so it's going to be on TV. So that's
You know,
what-
BT will be there. BT wants to be on TV so bad.
I mean, I'm trying. It'll be my first trip
Just
there. My
don't-
truck's been there,
BT,
but I ain't never been to
seen
the track.
BT, I've seen you at Timber Farms. Don't be doing any of that to get on TV. We don't
Nah,
want
that wasn't
anybody
me.
doing anything to get hurt or have to fix a truck to get on TV.
That race,
I can't afford that. That's why I store up now. So
Right.
that race in Virginia, Mindy put on the week before that race that she put on Facebook and said, we're going to put all these drivers in front of fans you've never seen before. New fans. We get up there, and there's 4 Amish people on the fence line, and they was going Arsenio Hall like this. Hoo, hoo, hoo. It was so cool.
Only racetrack I ever been where I saw Amish, and I announced a lot of races up there. They were there every race.
Man, it was cool. It really was. David Tyson.
That's in my top 3 of any SMO race for me.
Yeah,
That was that Hugh and Bob. They're such great people anyway.
To this day.
That was a really good race.
And Hugh and Bob will probably be there if we can get Hugh out of the woods from dog hunting. He'll probably be there. So
I thought he told us he was coming.
as far as I know,
I
they're
don't know.
coming. As far as I know, they're
I
coming.
will tell you, both of them have said I'm in. So yes, both of them.
As far as I know, they're coming.
Yeah.
And
y'all
those-
running the
those some of
shootout with the
best people I've
SMO
met in
too.
racing.
Yeah. So the
Everything's gonna be a
SMO
shootout.
going to run the shootout also.
Everything.
That same way. We did this before, and it works really well. And like we said, Matt got to go up against none other than Louisiana and Mississippi up against him. Matt got to run him,
Yeah.
and Sean They got up on the wheel and beat Matt by like a half a truck. It was one of the coolest races of the night.
I hit the guardrail. Yep.
It was so cool then.
I went stupid in my driving, so.
Oh, that was one where you went, the left-hander.
Yes.
Yep, sure did.
Yeah.
Boom. He said, God, great.
Yeah, that shootout deal, it makes it interesting. The crowd likes it too. The fans like to see that because you actually racing somebody. You know what I'm saying? You're not like they just.
We saw that this past weekend at Indy. We did some of the same thing. One of the best races was a side-by-side race. It was a dead heat. We had to rerun the dead gum thing. Because I mean, you could not have tried to get them to. They went, whoom, just crossed one another. Looked like 2 jet fighters. And I mean, it was incredible. We're gonna run side by sides Friday and Saturday. Well, they're gonna be there for the trails and all.
Yeah. If we have some sign up, we'll run them. We'll do something for them. So
the side by side mud truck.
I'm gonna bring up Andy again. Like you always hear these guys talk about this little small tiny truck, 12.4, whatever. And I'm gonna say John Cruz. That is a bad dude. That is two of the coolest, little 1 ton and mega that I've ever seen. He's got his stuff together, and so he's going up against the biggest truck at Indy, which was Secret Weapon and Scott Engel, and that's a 18L truck. It's big mirror towards. I mean, it was like a monster truck.
Blown alcohol injected, the whole 9 yards.
Photo finish, crossed the finish line. Photo finish. I mean, Steve Engel was up on the wheel. Now, when he got across the finish line, you know, there was a part in the motor that left the party because it was not happy. So he blew it up. But to watch that, everybody's like, oh, I can't race a small truck. I got, you know, I'm a big truck. I can't. And yeah, you can. I've seen it done. You just gotta grow you a set and do it, you know?
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
And Steve Engel wasn't worried about that blown engine. He said, I got a spare. I'll put it in there. I'm coming.
Right.
So, I mean, there's going to be trucks there that have never been to Thunder Alley. So they never were at Thunder Valley.
Right.
So, I mean, that's kind of what we've tried to do at Thunder Alley. The first one was kind of a regular race. The second one, we set a world record. Not many people seen a truck jump, much less jump almost 300 feet. And then, you know, the third one, we did the Tri-Truck Challenge. Was it as many trucks as wanted? No. But was it a heck of a race? Have mercy.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun to watch.
And then this will be our finale for the year. And the good thing is, just like what y'all were talking about earlier, you know, we're surrounded here. I mean, you got Palmetto that runs the 30th, and then you got Tyndall Farms that run the 7th. We run the 13th and the 14th. Then I think Palmetto, they got the Halloween. They always do the
Halloween race,
28th. And then you come back November 4th. That's Orangeburg Mud Bog. That's Tony. And then we got a couple of things. We got a little bit of time, but we got a couple of things. We're going to try to get some northern guys to come down early, because then you got Twitties on the 18th of November.
Heck yeah.
It's ridiculous. I know these dates off the top of my head.
Hey, that's what happens when you're fully immersed.
That's right.
You know?
Superstar.
So
Superstar.
And then, you know, we wrap it up on the 18th, and there's going to be something different. I don't know if I've said this earlier or not. There's going to be something different done for the Trucks Gone Wild race at Twitties Saturday night that he's never done before. And we talked about it. I've kind of cornered him in the booth. He was there for Jake's jump, told him what I had in mind, and he was all about it. So all that's set up. Not that's, you know, that'll be just the cherry on top of the sundae, because Twitties Trucks Gone Wild is enough reason.
Always
a good time.
Did y'all get a
Big
height
race.
on Jake's jump?
Height?
Yeah.
About that high.
What?
Oh,
No.
Taller
Like,
than the
what do you
trees, I don't
think,
know.
man? Because some of these people weren't there. How high do you think he was? I mean, I never seen nothing like that. It's like a plane taking off. I'm serious.
It's nuts.
He's
And hey, I'll just say this: he ain't done yet.
no.
Yeah. How tall was the top of the
he ain't
ramp?
nowhere near done.
40
what?
feet? 30 or
Do what?
40 feet? The ramp?
How tall?
How high was the
tall
ramp?
was it?
From the floor of the track to the top of the jump was 19 feet. It was 100 foot long. When he looked back at his race pack, he was 97 mile an hour at the bottom of the ramp.
Wow. It
He had
was
to be 40
75
foot
feet
high.
in the air. So
Yeah,
He had to be 40
that was
foot.
700 foot of takeoff.
that
And
truck
he's no-
looked small.
He's
in
no
the
weird
air.
done. He's no near where done. Not even close.
Yeah.
Good night. You better put
I
some
mean-
wings on that thing.
I mean,
And the thing of it is, he just likes to jump his truck.
yeah,
That's it.
he's the most humble guy in the world. We're at Indy, and I'm gonna lie to you, Jake Burton's a good friend of mine. He's cool. I've learned a lot from him. I've learned a lot about him. We're in Indianapolis Four-Wheel Jamboree Nationals. To me, that's the grand poobah of. I mean, you're surrounded by nothing but trucks. So he's out there. He's safety director. Matt's race director. So Jake comes within eyesight distance of the fans. So I'm announcing. So I'm gonna give him a shout out, ladies and gentlemen. Not everybody gets to say this. Let me introduce you to a friend of mine. This is the world record holder, Mr. Jake Burton. You may have remembered him a couple years ago on a whim. He just jumped 160 feet here at Indy, and Jake's just walking around. Looks like Gomer Pyle at Wally's gas station or something. I said, Jake, could you please raise your arm so they know who it is that I'm talking about? And he's,
Yeah.
his main focus. He wants to go do it again and wants to go do it again bigger and better. That's what he's focused on.
Yeah.
That's Jake. So it's but you know what? All of us have got stories on the Mud family.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a gift, man. It's an absolute gift. I keep all of them in my prayers every night. And one other thing, I got to touch on this. I talked to Joe Bishop today, and Joe Bishop is a really cool guy, and he's a really good guy from up north, and he's evidently coming to Twitty's, and he's taken a bad situation and trying to turn it into as positive situation as you can. So if you go on to his Facebook site, and I linked it his to mine. His brother passed away. His brother liked Twitty's, and so he's doing a thing where he's taking up money and everything, and they're gonna buy a whole bunch of toys and they're bringing it for the Toys for Tots at a Trucks Gone Wild race. And just keep Joe in your prayers. I mean, he's a really, really, really good guy, man. I get to see him in New York, and I get to see him at Twitty's, and I mean, he's just a really good guy.
Is that the thing? I think I saw it floating around on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's on Twitty's, it's on mine, it's on Joe Bishop's.
Yeah.
And I mean, they've even added some to it today. So the Wicked North guys just grabbed, I had a wild idea, ran it through the Twitty's, ran it through Worcester, and we do the Toys for Tots. And the doggone Wicked North just grabbed it. They're doing this in September. So, I mean, so they're,
getting ready.
They're 2 months ahead,
Right.
or more.
Robert, is Bristol with you?
He just walked in, going to get a shower.
Ha!
That boy
I will leave that alone.
That boy
That's for
works hard.
another story.
He's got to go clean his knees.
All right, then.
That's funny. We leave that alone.
Yeah. Now, Rick, you asked me
Stan
what-
Laird's in Montana. I know
Montana.
Stan's gonna be there. Yep, Stan's calling in from Montana. He'll be there.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
my
About
Country
that.
Time Security, country with a K.
Right. So we did sell out trackside. So those spots are gone, but I'm gonna go on tomorrow and I'm gonna put a link out for our reserve trackside, which is about 30 feet behind our normal trackside. So I'm gonna put that link out for it. So if anybody still wants to get those, they can get those reserve trackside spots. And then we have some spots that we have not opened up that are on the fence. And since we're using the starting line where we're using it, I'm gonna open up some spots there on each side of the starting line.
Is that going to be race day, or is that going to do it before that?
So we will. Those will be first come, first served the day of the race. Those will be $40 spots. If you want those when you come in the gate, just ask them if they have any trackside spots left. And I'm gonna put out do A through E and F through whatever they are. They'll be $40 at the gate. So if they want those, get up close to the fence. That's what they're $40 a piece. So,
But even
and that's for 2 days.
even that second row, or whatever you want to call it,
The second row is good.
You can still see very well there.
Yep. And those are $20. So we have those options. So, and I'll give Stephanie kudos to that. Whenever she told me she wanted to do that, I was against it. I said, no, I don't think that's a word anybody's going to see, but they're selling. So she proved me wrong, and that's cool. So
Good deal.
yep, I'm not always right.
Nobody's
They've been
always
telling
right.
that for
No.
years.
They'll be glad we're on camera.
He got it.
Right.
You might find yourself a meme. I ain't always right, right? Do something
Right.
over and over.
Right.
So, Rhett, you going to have your truck ready by October 13th and 14th, or are you shooting
Oh,
for
man.
Twitties?
Maybe. I hope. I wish.
We might
We'll see.
we might have one if he's got a transmission. He might be able to race, but we'll see.
I might steal that black one. If English don't drive his, if you're watching, Cassie, I'm gonna steal it.
How bad was the
Somebody's gotta
transmission
run.
in the red truck?
I have no clue.
I got one on the ground.
I'm gonna
Let's
tell
put
you
it,
what.
bring it over.
Right.
I'll change it out.
Ray Charles knew that one was done that night.
No
Ray
clue.
Charles could have told you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he come out the first pit, I was sitting up in the walk-up spots, and I was like, "That ain't happy.
No, boy.
Yeah.
It ain't happy."
And it wasn't
I think he
happening
did
the
a little
whole
something.
rest of the pit either.
No,
It's all right. Yeah, I've been working on the purple one. It's been in the shop, and I've been working, so
right.
it's been sitting. It ain't even been washed yet. I washed all the mud out from under it, but it's still
Yeah.
dirty up under the shed. So
It was good to see
Windy
Randy
Yeah.
and him be back in the truck. And I asked him, I said, Randy, I said, you gonna fit in that?
He was driving now. He
man.
was driving the daylight side of it.
Shecky looked at him and said, "Man, we had to put a tilt steering wheel in that thing when we get in."
I don't mean to throw shade on him or nothing, but that's why he can't drive the purple truck. He can't get in it.
Dang.
I don't think he can get on the steering wheel, but
Almighty.
that's another thing.
I miss
But that-
seeing him drive. He always drove the wheels off them things.
Oh, he'll drive it, Bo. He'll
He was
drive
driving
it.
it.
He'll drive
Right.
He drive the
Right.
snot out of that orange truck.
it.
Yeah.
That was a killer. But
Well,
that'll be,
I greatly appreciate y'all asking us to be on here and
yeah, man.
doing
Thank
this and helping us promote the race. And like I told y'all last time we were on there, what you're doing is great, man. Keep on doing that. And
Please keep.
You
I
know.
love this show, whether I'm
Yeah.
on it or not. I'm serious.
Yeah,
Please,
keep
please
doing what you're
the
doing.
show.
So
Because that's like I told you before. I honestly wanted to do this a couple years ago, and it was some of the same deal.
oh yeah.
I didn't need a fourth job, and that
Yeah.
And he looked at me like I knew how to do it. I was like, I'm too dumb for that. There ain't no way I can do
I
it.
mean, I looked at when BT sent me the link. It was 10 minutes after 5, and I know he gets up early and works. I said, "Yeah, he's busy.
yeah.
It's not just let's flip this switch on and have a show."
Right.
No.
No. It's
Hey,
a little technical. It's hard for me. too.
Anytime you want to come on, Dave, you're welcome.
That's right.
Anytime,
It just,
I love the
any
show.
day.
we just glad we
Thanks.
got
I feel the
three
love, Red. Appreciate
superstars.
that.
We got three
The
superstars, and we're
story,
trying to get up
you know?
to that level.
Well, you too, Matt.
What
know
you
that.
you say 3 superstars?
Yeah, it's three of them
We
down
just-
there.
We just a bunch of dummies that like to have fun, and we just lucky to be
Yes,
able
sir.
to be the part we at. So
Correct.
That's right.
I don't know.
That's
I
it.
don't think we're superstars by no means,
Nah,
but
it's just racing.
it's
man.
just a love.
Dave
man.
is at least.
Dave's, yeah, he's worldwide.
He's nationwide, high
Nationwide.
flying limousine ride.
If you had ever told
Can't
me
keep
that
these
I
gators
was,
down.
I told him, I said, I cannot believe. I mean, I don't mind getting up at 2:30 in the morning. We getting on an airplane to go to a mud race, and I mean,
Oh, my.
it was just. It's still shocking to me,
Yep.
but it is so.
That's when you know you made it, when you're flying first class to the mud race.
No, I said
That's when
flying.
you know
I
you
didn't say
made it.
a thing about first class.
He's eating
That's
that
when you
grape
made it.
fun.
That's when you made it.
Although at least we did have earplugs and we was watching, listening to music and watching movies. So,
Yeah,
So that was pretty cool.
yeah. We found
Hey,
out
they
you
asking
can
you.
use your free ear pods and
Oh.
has a movie in the back of the headrest. So
Love Delta. God bless Delta.
yeah.
Hey, they got a question about campers, man. You said it was about $45 for the campers. For the
Yeah, it's
weekend?
$45 a night for the camper. So you can come in at 9 that morning, and you can either leave that Saturday night or you can leave that Sunday morning. It's $45 a piece, and it's
You're not going to
electric.
want to.
They
You're
got
not going
30.
to want to leave Saturday night.
They got
we gonna
30.
party.
They got 30 amp hookups and 50 amp hookups, and all you have to do is either just message on the Thunder Alley Facebook page, message it, and say need to reserve a camp spot. They'll put your name on the list. Once those 18 are gone, well, 17 because me and Dave got one. Once those are gone, then those are out, and then it's just primitive from there. No hookups, and like I said before, that's free. But we have a section that's going to be marked off for primitive camping. Just can't let everybody kind of go where they want to go.
Yeah.
So we got to keep that kind of contained. So
All right, so two things.
If
First
they-
of all, William
if they
William
got it.
McCorn wants to know about the private jet. William, I'm working on that. I kind of throw that in the same category as working on my first million. Andy Carter's going to know where he can get a truck from. He's got a truck.
he's got a truck.
Yeah, I don't know why. And that truck will run.
Yeah.
Where's the Ranger? You only got a Ranger?
No.
No, he
no,
sold
we
that's
got a
gone.
full
You
That's
did
gone.
sell
He
it?
sold it. He
You
got
got
him
a
a
dent
big,
side.
fast one.
Dave
He
knows
got-
it's a Ford.
Oh,
He
that
loves it.
is right. That's right. I
Ford.
forgot. Yeah. It's got the guy from the Looney Tunes rat on it, the Slowpoke or whatever.
You talking about? Yeah.
Yeah,
the
Off of
brown
Speedy
Ford,
Gonzales.
Speedy Gonzalez. There you go.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Right,
That's right.
Felix Gonzalez. That's it.
That truck will
Yeah.
run.
Ain't no doubt.
Heck, yeah.
No doubt.
And I tell you what, I sure hope a lot of those upstate South Carolina guys come because there's some bad guys up there.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Man, would love to have them come down here.
Yep.
I'm really liking the shootout deal off the light.
The
That's
shootout's
something
cool, man. Like a lot of guys are afraid of it because of the how many passes you put on the truck. But for 5 passes, you gotta be able to drive that truck, and keep it right instead of just balls out too
Oh
hit.
yeah.
That's right.
Me and Rhett been doing a little bit. I kind of enjoy it. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
trying because
trying.
Yeah, and we did
Put
that.
the driver in it, and it really, I think it gets the fans pumped up. That's
Right.
something
And
Robert's
with
good at.
with
is
Southern Mud
getting the
Outlaws,
fans in.
what we learned with it all the years that we did it, we did a hill and hole or a short course and then a long course, and then I don't remember the details, Robert. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, you see that? She said, What's
see
wrong with him?
That's
Did you see that, Robert? You can see.
And he says this is the quietest you've ever been. What's going on?
So it's like doing those short course and long course stuff, like you're putting 4 hits on your truck.
Yeah.
And you have to remember in the back of your mind, all right, I got to be gentle here, be here. You got to hit your marks and know, like, I can't just go full blown head of steam. So you got to have a little bit of technique behind you when you do that. And that adds another variable.
That's
Dude,
what
I love it.
with Southern Mud Outlaws, and that's what we did. I think that changed a lot of how mega truck racing is when we first started, we had hill in the hole and then obstacle course, and you had to make past each one of them. Well, then we started watching all year long. The hill in the hole did not change the outcome of the obstacle course, adding the times together. It was always whoever won the obstacle course would win the whole deal. So the next year we looked at it and said, okay, we're going to do short course and obstacle course. So then we put a turn into after the hill in the hole hadn't had a turn, and it was a short course, then obstacle course. Well, that changed it up. Well, then that got old also. So me and Matt talked again. I'm like, fans are tired of it. We got to try something new. So I come up with a bright idea. We're going to do a shootout. We're going to qualify. We're going to go to a shootout. We're going to draw numbers. This is how we're going to do. Now, did everybody like it? No, man. The first race, everybody was like, this ain't going to work. After the first race, everybody wanted to do it again.
Yeah.
The fans loved it, but the drivers liked it because they got to actually race somebody. And just racing the time. And the biggest thing we got told by our drivers, and Matt knows this, is they don't want to run just a little bit small courses. They want a minute long so they can actually make 2 turns, 3 turns. And if the guy messes up or they can get better in this next turn, they can beat them to the next turn and make their time up. It did. It changed everything. So that's the whole thing, because this is not just going to be a horseshoe for the mega trucks and the 1-tons. It's kind of more of a paperclip with some turns in it and have some fun with it. It's going to be a decent course.
Yeah, it's a paperclip is what it initially all ends up being. So you got to drive it, and that's you got to study it. I mean, you need to get in your golf cart or whatever, your side by side, and ride that track or walk it and look at the turns and figure out the best approach angles to it. And that's part of the technique. And I learned that from David Tyson years ago. He looked at me, he was like, "Man, what are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "Do you ever walk the track? Do you ever look at this?" I was like, "No, not really." He's like, "Come on, come on, let's go for a ride." You know, and Scott Sweat was in that same ride too, and they were like, "Look here, you need to pull in here and this and that," and they just taught me, and I learned. And I've had guys ask me like, "Why did you go series race? What did you get out of it?" The best thing I got out of it was I learned that I can take a naturally aspirated truck back then, and I can run with blower guys if I pay attention to the track, if I hit the marks that I need to hit, if I do it the right way. And we did. Problem was I couldn't make a naturally aspirated motor live trying to run it into high RPM range against those blower trucks, So, but like you can do it. I mean, it's hard. Don't get me wrong, but if you get to the track and you study it and understand what it is and learn those marks, you can be really competitive in something that probably shouldn't be competitive in.
And what's really cool about, in my opinion, about SMO, if you go back and look at who was involved, whether it be the announcer, whether it be who was coming up with the track designs, that would be Matt and Robert, and especially the competitors, they are heavily involved in probably the top 2 mega truck series in the entire country. There's a whole handful, if not more, a whole bunch of competitors that were involved with SMO that are still at this time some of the fastest trucks in the entire country. Yeah. And then they've, everybody had branched out from SMO after took the time off. And a bunch of them, some have sold out, like what Robert was talking about, but a bunch of them are still heavily involved in the sport and doing very well and exceeding at their own position, what it is that they do. Yep. So it was, I wouldn't say it was a breeding ground, but there was a lot of people that was involved in it that learned stuff while we were all involved with SMO. and have gone out and used all that information.
Right.
Now, Rhett, what a funny story that you're gonna like is that you asked me a while ago about heavy hitters. So you're looking at one right there in that screen right there. Every time we go to South Carolina, don't be ducking. Every time we went to South Carolina, there was a new Matt Bonnet that showed up. It's got to be his alter ego or something, because Matt would go, like he said, study tracks. Matt would run the word real good. He'd be finishing 3, 4, 5th position, doing good. Second. When we went to South Carolina tracks, I don't know if it's just because he's close to home and he wasn't worried about it, and he's just going to do it for his fans. Matt Bonnet would show up at South Carolina track every time we went. In the first race we ever ran with Smo, David Tyson was the guy winning the races at Smo. Correct, Matt? He was the fastest guy we had. We go out there and make the first passes of the night, and Matt Bonnet's actually beating David Tyson. David Tyson, he'd been studying the track. He'd been practicing. He said, beat me. And we went to Matt, and he asked Matt that, and Matt said, nope. David Tyson said, I got to get up on the wheel. And David Tyson really had to get up on the wheel and go out and drive Matt, because Matt was on it. It happened a lot.
I told David Tyson after that race, I said, this is my dirt. You got to come get it.
It was. Now, the only problem with Matt Bonnet is if there's a tire on the track, usually something
he's going to hit it.
That's why I painted the tires at Thunder Alley white, so I could see them at night. I'm running out black now.
Truth be told.
That's good.
Man, we've had some awesome races over the years. I think with Dave and Matt and the crew that we had, but the drivers that we had, I still go back to the drivers. I don't think there was nobody that was a family like we was. It just, I watched it sign right. We had 15 drivers show up, and one broke, and every driver was working on that truck at one point in time, trying to get them fixed because they wanted to see them. And the worst part about it was
in the rain.
Right.
In the rain, it was like a Tyson truck. David Tyson was actually the one broken. He's the one to go out there and wins the race or whatever. Everybody was trying to see him get it fixed because they wanted to beat the best.
Yeah.
That's
Can't beat him on the trailer.
No,
That's
and that's the thing we said in every driver's meeting. If you want to race them, you got to help fix them, because if they break, you can't beat them on the trailer. You didn't beat them.
That's right.
And that's the truth. Same thing with these guys coming DOT. If you want to find out where you stand, this is a shootout. You're really going to have to get up on the wheel.
Yeah.
The cool thing is almost everybody's been in DOT. Not everybody just jumped out and went to Mega. Man, you can still learn stuff. And if nothing else, be entertained.
Yeah.
If you're in DOT, you're a mud racer. You're the mud family. So you should appreciate all doggone classes.
Yeah.
Most people
I started on a flat track in a DOT truck. Yeah. And the only reason I got out of it because I hate rules. I don't like them. So I built the first mega truck because it was said track tires, and it wasn't even in a class then. It was just we saw the trucks going wild stuff or whatever, right? So then we go to Nick's and we're running against Jason and Keith and Jimmy.
Nitrous oxide G.
Right. Nick literally said, he said, hey, if y'all can get me 5 trucks, I'll make a class for you. It took 2 years for that to happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
We knew that we weren't going to beat Boatwright and Jason King and those guys in the unlimited class, but it was an unlimited, and we didn't have it was my cousin Josh and Wesley, and then Tweety and Mitchell, and then I come in there somewhere in that thing. So that's just where we started. But I didn't like rules.
Yeah.
So we had a axle rule and a tire rule.
Yeah.
It had to be V-treads. That was it. How bad you want it, you know?
That's it.
And
So then, of course, that blowed that out of proportion over the years.
And so that was back at Mid-State, and now one of the promoters, Nick Schilling, he was up in Indy, so he walks away with the grand champion, and that is the cat daddy of street class trucks, and he's won it now at least 2 years in a row, if not 3.
I think.
And I mean, that's just that goes right back to what we were talking about as far as, you know, once you're in the mud family, you're in, you know, you're just in. You're racing, you want to be part of it. So, and it's like, I know Jeff Brown's watching JBE, so he's building engines for the mud family, and I've been all over the daggum Carolinas, if not more, with him, and I kind of got him into the mud racing scene, and so now not only is he into all kind of racing, he's also into mud racing now, and he comes and likes to enjoy that.
Yeah, anytime Taz is running, you'll see him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah,
That's right.
biggest thing I want this whole reunion, and me and Matt talked about this, and this is what we want. If you've never ran with SMO, this is your chance. We want you to come experience what they about and how much fun we had when we first started this. We I'll say not we, I'll say I lost sight of all the fun we had because it got to be too big of a job and too much headache, and I let everything get to me, and I kind of didn't go to where I need to go to and just didn't relieve the pressure like I should have. And I let it build up, and it got the best of me. But the race is called one hell of a ride because we're going to have us a good time from start to finish. And this is your chance to just have fun, but see where you rank at, where you're going to be at against everybody else out there. And the facility is one of the best there is in the country. I mean, you look at it, they've got built right. Matt did a good job, and Dave did a good job putting together a facility that's safe but can be versatile, and that's what you want in mud racing.
That's right.
Good job. Yep.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. We still got a long way to go, but
Yeah.
so it's a building process.
We haven't touched what we got planned. We just, like I said, we're only 3 races in.
Yeah,
That's right.
but we knew that our first year we had to kind of knock it out of the park to get our name on the map. So we've taken some risk, we've taken some chances, which is part of business. It's a business at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
One way the light bill can get paid and employees can get paid is to put on good shows, to put butts in the seats, to pay those bills and to stay open. It's just what it is. So I have to look at it like that. So now we build through this year, and we look at next year, which we gave our dates to all the drivers at the last race that were there. So those are wrote out. I do have them. We haven't set them out online yet, but they are out. So now we think about what we want to do on those dates for next year. So they're the same dates as they were this year. They're just, if the dates fall like a day apart or 2 days or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're the same weekends and whatnot.
One of the funny things about that one is I had a real good idea, and I just went ahead and ran with it and started working on it. So I waited till we were about 25 to 30,000 feet, somewhere over probably, I don't know, somewhere between here and Indiana before I told him what it was. I said, hey, man, I got an idea. We're going to do this. And I'm working on it. I don't have everything yet. And he said, yeah, okay. So I figured, tell him whenever you're in the airplane, what you going to do? I mean, I
ain't jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. I can promise you that.
Yep.
Nah.
Yeah, I deal with it when we hit the dirt.
There you go. All right, fellas. Well, we appreciate it. We'll see y'all October 13th and 14th, correct?
Thank you. If you got any questions, feel free to call me, 803-664-3526, or just hit me on Messenger, of course. You know, you can reach out to Robert as well. If you got any questions about how the Top 8 shootout works, or, you know, if you want to make sure if you want to say that you want to come race with us, just so we can promote you, that we're going to start putting out pictures and that kind of thing. Just text him something and say I'm in. And, you know, that's kind of what we're sending out. Some other guys that have raced with us before. So
here's a real good example of how family oriented this thing is about. And he doesn't know I'm about to ask this. Robert, is your mom and dad coming?
Well, mom and dad's not going to be able to come to this one. I understand. I want them. Trust me, I know why you want them to.
You dad come right.
But I haven't ruled out about us bringing the black pot and cooking something in it yet. I haven't ruled that out.
Whatever the potatoes was with the shrimp, that thing you did. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh,
Somebody was asking about some jambalaya. I seen.
This is sounding like good practice for the Twitties trucks going wild.
Oh man,
you know?
His dad can
Let's
cook.
practice.
Oh my god, it was
bring the cookers.
It was 800 degrees, and we were in. Where were we? Mississippi.
I don't know.
We were on. It was hot. That's the night you drove the truck that.
Invader.
You drove his because that was rear engine.
That was the night I realized that was the last truck that Matt Bonnet ever needed to be in. Scared the crap out of us.
Man, he made something with like baked potatoes and then boiled shrimp and put it over it. Oh,
that was
just delicious.
That was seafood potato. It had cheese and crawfish and shrimp and crab.
God. Yeah, it was good.
No, I'm gonna miss him, not just because of the food, but I'm gonna miss him.
It sounds like y'all need to do the videos. Like, what's that guy that does the
stale
cooking
cracker?
videos? Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we do the wild Cajun cooking videos.
Yeah.
Well,
Diners, drive-ins, and mud bogs.
Yeah, couple bucks.
Don't worry, we got
Y'all
some-
watch that guy? I love that guy.
Yeah.
we-
Instead of
we'll
we're not
bring-
riding
That's
around,
money, dude.
we're not riding around in a Camaro. We're going to show up in a truck.
Yeah.
Welcome to Diners, Drive-Ins, and Mud
Can't
Bars.
word
We're
it.
at Tweety's Mud Bar this weekend for the Trucks Gone Wild. Everybody's cooking, including everybody and our normal food there.
We can bring some boudin for Matt. You know, he knows how to.
How you spell it?
Boo. Dan. Boo DOAAN, huh?
BT, how would you spell boudin?
BOUDAN.
That's the way
Okay.
I'd spell
All
it.
right. I
Is
said
that right?
OODAN is what I said. Boudin.
I know I don't like boudin. I've had it. It ain't for me. It ain't
It wasn't
pudding.
for
I put
me
it that way.
No.
I'll take my pudding. I eat some crawfish now, but you can keep the boudin.
Now
Right.
he's a big crawfish eater.
I like some
Robert
crawfish.
eats some crawfish.
We have a
I
lot
can
of
eat some
fun. We had a lot of fun, and it was. We brought the black pot everywhere we went. We cooked as a family. Everybody ate. We always tried to have fun like that together, and just. And then there was sometimes we did potluck where all the wives would bring something that was close enough. Like in Florida, I know we did that. Lazy Springs, all the wives brought something. Matt's mama brought something. And everybody brought something.
I didn't bring nothing.
I mean, and it was the same way whenever we had the awards banquet. It wasn't
Right.
catered. Heck, no. I mean, his dad showed up, and I mean, we cooked up stuff. Man, it was good.
That's what
Yeah,
it's
we
all
was-
about, man. Spending
We was the
time
first
with these
series
guys.
ever. We was the first series ever do a points banquet and actually make a banquet out of it and make it where you come there and you got sponsors watching you and doing it and seeing what their hard work, that they gave their stuff up for went to. So it was really cool that we got to do all that and set some things. This race, we just want to go have fun. Throw out
There you
everything,
go.
have fun.
Ain't about no points. Ain't about calling nobody out. Ain't about this versus that. Ain't about.
We are
top
going to
10.
see who's the baddest, though, right?
Ain't about none of that.
And it'll
That's
all
what
be
you ought to do.
filmed.
You ought to
And
be able to
it'll
put
all
on.
be filmed. So so we're going to represent what's going on in South Carolina. They're about to find out why we got so many mud tracks
y'all-
in South Carolina.
Why is the
Well,
mud
y'all gonna
capital
allow
of the world?
allow a call out with the top 8 trucks the first round?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm okay with call out. You go all right with a call out, Robert?
I'm good with a call out on the top, the top
The
8,
eight.
the first.
Top 8.
I'm good with a call out.
First round.
BT,
First round.
BT must think he's going to be in the top
Hey,
8. Or
Robert started talking about, how he talked trash to promote this and all that. I just want to put this out here to get it started. The first time and the last time I think Matt had a DOT shootout, this cat won it. So I am
You
the defending champ.
But it was
That might have
straight
been
up.
20 years
You're
ago.
right.
That
But
might have
did
been
you- was
15
that-
years ago.
Was
Huh?
that in the Blazer or the Toyota?
Yeah, that was in the Blazer, Bo. That was a long
Right.
time ago.
right.
There's a little thing going, and I
Hey,
gotta say,
Bracy, how you?
my daughter. I gotta say this about Matt. So Matt tells me like the last time we're gonna do Thunder Valley, we're gonna do the race. Matt's like, we're gonna combine them all in one class. I'm gonna put the entry fees high. We won't get so many trucks, and we won't be here till 3:00 in the morning.
Oh,
We
God.
get 50 trucks entered into class, and we there till 4:00 in the morning. I'm like, Matt, why do you do this to us every time we come to South Carolina? Sure
Yeah.
enough, they come
So
out of the woodworks.
My thinking on that whole deal was like was that the Friday night, Robert?
That was a Friday and Saturday night. We stayed there both nights till like 3:00 in the morning.
Wasn't that the night they had to redo the track Friday night?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So what my thought was like, if I combined all the DOTs into one class,
Now.
not as many of them would show up.
Yeah.
No.
Right?
No.
That's what I thought. Bullshit. They all showed up and more, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me! Why don't we just do this at every race?"
Yeah. It'd be, yeah.
right? Hey, that's just that's how the crooked crumbled, and we had to deal with it. So
It was so funny. I can remember going to wake up a mega truck driver in the truck sleeping. Hey, you got to make a pass in like 5 minutes. Seriously. sleeping.
oh yeah, we had 57 or 58 trucks at one of those races.
Yep.
Mega trucks and 1-ton guys, and I was like, oh my God, how do we deal with this?
Isn't that what you just said right there about them waiting? Some of these guys say that, they don't care. Some of these guys don't care about the DOTs. These mega truck guys do. Look how long they have to wait. Sometimes they don't race till 10 o'clock at night, and they don't complain.
Yeah.
They sit there and watch
we
us.
definitely want the DOTs by
You know
all
what I mean?
means.
And they race when it's their time. They
Look at it this way. Most of the guys most of the guys that are going to see this on TV, not everybody owns a doggone mega truck.
That's right.
So they're DOT oriented. So we want to show them what it is we got around here for DOTs.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. That everybody started down, and
Yeah.
it's amazing for them guys that they travel from California or whatever. I mean, you had guys travel from everywhere to
Yeah,
South
long
Carolina,
ways.
and they sat in their truck till 4 a.m. to run. They support you. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and like going back to what you
Never
said about
complain.
mega truck guys don't care about DOT truck guys, and
They
you know
do.
some promoters think more about the megas than the whatever. And I know that I'm a mega guy, and I know a lot of mega truck drivers, and a lot of 1-ton drivers. So I have a lot of those friends. I don't have as many in the DOT world, right? But we run y'all first because if we run, we're either going to blow all the mud out of the mud hole or there's going to be stupid ruts. And y'all, we don't want to see you tear your truck up.
Yep.
I don't want to see you go out there and demolish your truck because of a rut that I created with my truck or a class that I ran before y'all. Because I'm going to tell you right now, being a promoter, I've got fans and spectators that say, we want to see mega trucks run first.
Oh, yeah.
We want to see y'all. We want to see those guys run first. That's what we came for. But we can't. And I tell them, I said, look, I was like, if I run them first, then all my DOT guys are going to tear their trucks up.
Yep.
I don't want to tear their trucks up. So we're going to run them. We're going to try to get this show, 5-6 hours done. We want you to stay. So as a promoter and as a driver, I do fight that,
Oh, yeah.
because
And
that probably goes for every track,
Yep.
but like growing up, going to dirt track races, over at Sumter Speedway, not far from here. Like when I was little, you'd go there and you start off with the little 4-6 cylinder class, but the main show is
12 o'clock. That's right.
late model cars. They run last.
Yep.
So I'm laying on the bleachers sleep. Dad nudges me, wake up, boy. Late models. And I'd wake up for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
just part of it. So,
And
but no, I started the DOT. I love the DOT trucks. I love what they're doing. And we got to have them. If we don't
That's
have them,
right.
we ain't got a race.
Yeah.
And that's what some of these drivers need to remember. When Matt's running around having a race, when he's not totally smiling, trying to get you to get in your truck, let's go.
Yeah.
Why are you over here? Why aren't you in your truck ready to go? That's why.
No, that's
It's not
all
that he's-
classes.
It's not that he's
That's all classes.
Yeah.
You got to get the show going because
Time Tide nor Dave Renfro wants to wait on you to get in your truck.
That's
Right.
right.
The first race I ever come to at Thunder Valley, I think I'm gonna say the right name of this. It was a black S10 in DOT. Was that JT?
Black S10.
Black Toyota. JC.
Toyota. Yeah, JC.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Dude, every driver watched him go through the horseshoe turn, slinging it sideways, got it turned, the wheels the opposite way, dirt tracking it, running it wide over the turn, and every one of us looked at each other like, this is awesome. That every mega truck driver lined up and watched the rest of them coming through that turn.
Yeah.
It's something that we don't get to see all the time
Yeah.
because Florida tracks didn't have a horseshoe down there. We didn't have them in Louisiana. We didn't have them in Mississippi. So we got to see something new.
Yep.
We started just as much. Racing is racing. If
Oh,
you
yeah.
racer, you'll race a lawnmower, you'll race whatever, watch whatever, because it's racing.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And Robert's 100% on that because, like, I've talked to a bunch of the guys at the jamborees that run the DOT class, and they run like NMRO style rules up there, but they told me, like, we don't have what y'all have down there with the obstacle course stuff or just straight lines. Like, it's totally different. And then they talk about, well, if I go to this track, I got to run against these guys. And then 30 minutes away, these other guys, their rules are totally different.
Yeah.
We have a rule package that is very similar. Everybody's very similar, in the 6 tracks, and like that are hour apart from each other, basically.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. And I think there's a couple things that can be tightened up on some of those rules, but you gotta, if you tighten them up, you gotta make sure that You don't go too tight to mess up,
Yeah.
everything, but also keep it simple. Because
Rules are awful.
we can
Listen to
overthink
everybody.
something in the heartbeat, right? So
Yep.
That's why SMO had KISS rules.
No doubt.
KISS. Keep it simple, stupid, move on.
That's
Yep.
There
right.
you go.
Yeah.
The more rules you put in it, the more it makes problems because you have people, and I ain't gonna say the name, but we have a person that will push every rule in the gray area that he can push it till you don't
I know
work.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
We,
but he does
we got
his
some
job.
of them too.
He
Yeah.
makes us do our job.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
Some of them
And
feel like it's their job to pick at you, though, and that's when it's like,
Yeah.
man, come
Well-
on, guys.
Well, here's the thing, Rhett. And like me and Robert talked about this whole thing he just said, a week ago. Like, we always going to have gray areas, right? And as a racer, you're supposed to find the gray area and push that gray area as far as you can go.
Yep.
Right?
Amen. Yep.
But as a promoter, so now I
Correct.
turned the hat a different way, right? As a
Yep.
promoter, I have to think, all right, he can do this, 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 and this, and I have
Yep.
to stop him.
Yes.
Robert Morrell is one of the best that I have ever seen do that because he always thinks ahead. Robert used to dirt track race. He probably won't tell a lot of people that. So he was that guy back in the day doing stuff in a dirt car. So he knows how the guys play the game. So he always thinks ahead. All right. And like, and there ain't but one or two that I've ever seen that got him. But real quick, Robert flips the switch. He's like, all right, I know how to fix it. And he comes to him like that. I'll always say this, and I'll go down in history and say it. Robert Morrell is probably one of the best I've ever seen in the guardrail because of that. All right. Dave does his job unbelievable. We all know that. Robert Morrell in the guardrails with Southern Mud Outlaws is the best in the business. I'll put that on paper. I'll say it to anybody in the books.
Oh, yeah.
I mean that. Not just because he's my friend or whatever, but he's always done his job on that. So the whole rule thing is like, it's simple, but there's, as a driver and as a promoter, you have to figure out how to do that in a professional manner, right?
That's right.
So is it aggravating? 100% it is. 100%.
Oh yeah.
But that's our job. Like that's what we're supposed to do. And I'll sit there, and as soon as somebody